All right, as you may see in your order of service, this will be a homily, which even after all these years, all I can think of is a hominy and an omelet. And if you're not sure what the difference is, a sermon is supposed to be about God in 20 minutes. And a homily is shorter. So here we are at the turning of the wheel of the seasons. This is the time of Samhain, which is Celtic. It's Gaelic for summer's end. And it is the end of the year's fertility. The harvest is brought in, the plants drop their leaves, and the earth prepares to rest by dying. In the old religions, this was seen as the time when the veil between the living and the dead were to grow thin. And with each chill wind, we might feel a shiver of our own mortality. The children might just shriek with delicious frights. But for the older bodies, it is the time when we must hold the fullness of all that has gone before and the precious ones who have left us. And we must balance this against the unknown days that spiral out ahead. And naturally, what we make of this is the work of living. Part of this work, part of our work, is the picking up and putting down of the stories and beliefs that we have been taught about death. As non-spiritual people, we might just wave away those old narratives about afterlife as simply a distraction from the astonishing experience of living. As spiritually attentive people, we might dismiss those old stories about tormented souls in eternity, stories that we know were used to maintain more of the social order among the living than anything to do with strengthening a connection with the divine. Either way, spiritual or not, there's something for everyone to reject. But what is there about death to embrace and give thanks for? What shall we take up and live into when it comes to death? Here are some of death's admirable features. It is completely egalitarian. Everyone experiences it. And there's a lovely finality about it. At times, it is a relief, an end to real suffering. And other times, it is just a gentle loosening when life is no longer quite as compelling as it once was. So, when we look with clear eyes upon death, not as punishment or even as paradise, we can come to claim it well and wisely. So that those of us who, as humanists, place our highest value upon lived experience, we can view death as the ultimate, as in last, the ultimate opportunity to learn about this existence. And those of us who seek to affirm the spiritual experience, we can understand death as a transitional time from individual to unity. Such views affirm both our lives and our deaths and the fullness of our experience. Okay, some of you heard that I was struggling with this sermon. It's all very hard for me right now because originally I had a sermon, it was shimmering, I was going to reach for it, it was all falling into place. It was going to be about optimism and trust and even joy that we can discuss death so thoughtfully, even as we grieve. And then on Thursday, my dear friend Scotty died, and it just undid me. And everything I'd been working for on the sermon just unraveled, and I could not knit it together again. Scotty and I shared the feature that we came to ministry late, but we came so full of joy. And she's been serving the congregation that I was an intern at. She was an intern in my mother's congregation. We were woven together, and now here were the threads. By Friday, she had reconstituted herself just enough in my heart to smile at me. Just enough to tell me, "Get writing. Go tell them how much you love them. Listen to them. Aren't they wonderful? Bring them good news." Well, easy for her to say. Well, with her being gone and all, she didn't have to write the sermon. But I felt her with me. And I felt her commitment to our tradition and her commitment to our congregations. So here I am, ready to tell you the good news about death and loss. But also, I know this fully, that anything I might say, you have already heard. Anything I might tell you, you already know. You've already measured it in your heart. So this is just going to be a repetition of what you are already carrying, what all of us are already carrying with us. And I'm going to dispense with some of the flowery language that's really peculiar to contemporary paganism. I'm just going to tell you, Samhain is the time when nature shows us how to die. It is death that is very gentle for some, and yet witheringly for others. Some seem to stay vital right up until the point when frost causes the cell walls to rupture. Others experience a leisurely decline as the sun grows thin, throwing out late-season flowers in the hopes of casting a few seeds before the frost. Autumn is when the steady winds rip away the softness of leaves and desiccates the grasses. What was pliant now crumbles, and what bent now snaps. Compost happens. Watching this, if I were to be observant and intentional, I would take this opportunity to throw away all of my old school notes and those folded handkerchiefs and magazine clippings that I've been hanging on to for too long. I would become as liberal as trees and drop away all the things that once made me beautiful, but now just make me look insecure or tired. What if I could just drop away all but my sense of humor and my loving? Oh, that would be so freeing, just to be a bare trunk with branches against the sky. And would help me to adjust to the truth that one day, yes, I shall drop away the last of my bodily belonging. I shall let go. And such a day that will be. When that day comes, please just place me in the soil. Let this body be fully embraced by the mother from whom I emerged, and plant a tree or two nearby so that eventually some of my molecules will be redistributed and made into leaves that will dance in the sun again. My husband wants to be composted. We're still trying to figure that one out. It's your turn to turn, Grandpa. But this is how I practice. By watching the earth, watching the cycles. For even as there is fall, yes, there will be a spring, and new plants will push up out of the soil. Some of them will simply be resurrecting perennial roots, but most of them will be completely new. New dandelions, new grasses, new life arising out of the dead leaves. New bodies out of the wreckage of the previous lives. So this is how I practice. By softening my gaze so that it sees through the veil and looks at both those who have gone and those who are to come. I recite the names of my ancestors and I call out to the children who will follow in time. Come and dance with me. Come and breathe through me now. Come and show me the beauty and the love that brought me forth. The love that keeps me dancing until it is my time to lie down and return to the all that is. May it be so, and blessed be.